Hello, I'm John, the Warhammer Modeler, and in this video I'm going to be running through how I painted this orange which I've used for my Necromunda Squat Rhino. I'm going to be painting the Exo Driller in this video. I want most of this to be the matching orange, so I'm going to be doing the body, some of the backpack, arms and legs, and then the rest of the details I'll pick up later on. So first things first, we'll have a quick look at the Rhino so we can see the colour. What I looked to do was similar to the black that I painted on another vehicle a while ago. I wanted to create a weathered look as I painted, so I didn't have to really go back and do too much to it. So I did this with a few layers of different paints to build up this finish. I think it worked quite successfully, and for the squats themselves in the gang, they're going to have orange helmets. Okay, to start with, I'm going to start with the Troll Slayer orange, and what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be dry brushing all of the areas of the model that I want to paint. So let's get started. So as you can see, it was quite a rough dry brush that I did there. As you can see, there's a lot of areas of white still. What I'm going to now do is just wait for this to dry a bit before I move on to the next step. So I've let this dry for a little bit. The next thing I want to do is overpaint all of the orange areas with this contrast paint. So next job, as I said, I'm going to paint over the whole thing with this. Okay, so I've now finished that contrast paint layer, and I'm going to let it dry thoroughly before I carry on. But you can already see that there's that differentiation between the yellow and the orange which I dry brushed on previously. So it's giving that kind of weathered, mottled look already. I'm going to let this dry thoroughly before I move on to the next stage. So now that the yellow contrast paint has dried, what I'm going to do is pick out a few of the details like the bolts and the recesses and any of the panel lines with some Agrax Earthshade. So there's the wash done on all the areas that I want it to be. Any areas where it's gone over slightly, we'll tidy up in the next stage, but for now I've just got to wait for this to dry before I can carry on. So the Agrax Earthshade has dried. The one I've got from that pot is slightly glossy, but it doesn't matter with this because I'm going to dry brush areas to kind of knock that back. So I'm going to use the Troll Slayer orange again in specific areas just to knock that back, and then another layer of depth on the orange. Okay, there's that orange dry brushing done. Gonna wait for that to dry for a little bit before I move on to the final stage. So the final part of painting this orange is a dry brushing with Duril Yellow. So let's get started. So there we go. This is one method of painting orange. I quite like the way it's turned out, looking quite weathered. I will probably add more weathering details to it as I paint all of the other sections. Obviously this is the main colour first, and then I build up all of my smaller details, other colours and so on. So the same with the Rhino. I've got a lot of extra details to paint onto these, but what I want to do is get this main orange done first to the whole gang so it matches throughout. But anyway, I hope you found this tutorial interesting. I want to do more over the summer. If you've got any suggestions, please drop it in the comments below. But for now, I'm John, the Warhammer Modeler. Stay safe.